Welcome back to another live session at Speaker Circle. Good evening, everyone. If you're watching us out there, send us a hi in the chat box and we'll respond to you. Today, we have gathered here for something which is very interesting. So, as we are drawing towards the end of the month, we have something called a knowledge sharing session. A knowledge sharing session is one of the many activities that happen at Speaker Circle. So if you want to be a part of those several activities, or if you want to be a part of Speaker Circle, which is a platform or a community where you can connect with like-minded people, you can get in touch with people from various professional and cultural backgrounds, and also the main target is to learn and improve at public speaking. So public speaking seems like an easy thing, but honestly it is not, especially when you have to conduct an hour's session, or where you're going somewhere as a guest speaker, or you have to impart knowledge to people. That's not easy. That's why we have something for our registered members called a knowledge sharing session. And today we have someone who is really having a lot of experience at conducting sessions, especially sessions about topics that are sensitive, that are personal, and that compel us to be introspective on ourselves, that compel us to look deep down, as in who we are as individuals. So my name is Zaina Rafiq, and I am a member at Speaker Circle, and I'll be the host for the live session today. So feel free to ask your questions to the speaker in the chat box. Feel free to share your opinion on whatever he is saying, and also if you have some idea or some thing that you can just think of, type it down and let us know. We'll make sure that your comment is looked at. I just wanted to say, I'm not going to reveal, I think you're already here, so you know the topic of today's session, but I'll just cover the topic in two lines. Roses are red, college is wrong. Decisions, all of them wrong. So today our speaker is someone who is from Ahmedabad. He graduated from NIT Durgapur with bachelor's in engineering. He works as a consultant, and it's been 15 years since he has been a part of this field or this industry. He is a voracious reader. He's a person of knowledge. He's a walking library, I must say. And if you are here to listen to him, you have a lot to learn, and you have a lot to soak in. And the best part about our speaker, Sunil Shanewar, is that he makes you think about your own self in a way that you're like, oh my god, ये तो कभी सोचा ही नहीं. He asks questions about looking deep down one's own individual self that we should be asking on a daily basis. So with all due excitement, I welcome Sunil Shanewar. Hello, sir. Welcome to the session.
Hello, Zaina. How are you?
I am fine, and you look pretty charged up for the session today. So I am giving the stage over to you, and good luck.
Thank you so much, Zaina. So, as all of you know, today's topic is critical thinking and decision making. Now, the first thing is why critical thinking is important in 21st century. Why it should be considered as a skill. Right from the childhood, we get into situations where we need to think a lot about doing a smallest thing. I'll tell you a few stories. So the first story is like this has happened in Ahmedabad in the year I think 2011-12, when one of my friends, she was a teacher in Riverside School, and she was watching kids playing with the different kind of articles. It was some round shape objects were there, some uh, uh, triangular objects, some square objects, some rectangular. So there were many different kind of objects. So there was a kid who threw a ball on a flat surface. So that ball rolled far away. So he only had one ball, and all other objects, whatever he had, were different in color, different in shape, and different in size and weight. So he started throwing one by one, and he wanted to reach to that particular place where the first ball had reached. So after doing this exercise for 15-20 minutes, what he realized was that no, the object has to be round in case if it wants to reach its final destination. So after doing this activity for 15-20 minutes, he started gathering all the round objects, different in sizes, different in shapes, and different in weights. So he started throwing one by one, one by one, one by one. And he realized that round object of different weights travel much faster than any object that can reach to that particular place. So this is how a critical thinking can be incorporated in your children, in your colleagues, in your own self. We need to think differently to reach out to the decision that we want to make. So this is a smallest example. Now, day-to-day basis, we all are using social media. Mostly WhatsApp is our best friend these days. So what happens is that what we realize that we get thousands of messages, thousands of messages from friends, family. Then you are a member of hundreds of groups, and all of a sudden some lottery message pops up. Many crimes are happening due to these kind of messages. This is a place where critical thinking is important. These messages looks exactly like what your bank sends to you. These messages exactly looks like how an official email comes to you. Let me tell you one more real story that happened with one of my friends. It was 4 o'clock in the morning, and he received one WhatsApp message asking for money, saying that I am stuck in USA and I'm in a deep trouble. The authorities have seized my passport, and I need to call my lawyer, but I'm not getting any help from India. If you can transfer 50,000 rupees to this particular account, then it will be easier for me to get the things done, and I'll return your money back the moment I'm back in India. So this guy was on a business trip, and he sends a message to one of my friends saying that this has happened. His friend wakes up at somewhere around 6:30. So he woke up, he saw, as usual, as each of us checks WhatsApp early in the morning, he also did the same. He just went to his bank account, thought for a moment, went back, checked the details which were there in the WhatsApp messages, what was his details of the friend. Then he tried calling his family. His phone was switched off. So the first thing was his phone was switched off somehow. He called his family, just asked when did he went to USA. And his family said no, he's not in USA. He's there in India only, but right now he's not at home. So if you have got any message, just do let me know. I'll pass on the message. Now think about this particular moment. You get a message from your friend saying that I met with an accident and you need to transfer this particular amount to this account, and this account belongs to some hospital kind of thing. Imagine what kind of blunder we are going to make just reading that one's letter accident, because accidents are something which can destroy anybody's life, can destroy families, can destroy mental peace, and can destroy many things. So scamsters these days are using these kind of different tricks to make sure that you lose your money. My friend got survived just because he thought of cross checking the facts because the fact was that his WhatsApp was hacked, but he did not know that his WhatsApp was hacked. You, on a daily basis, receive hundreds of email claiming to, somebody is trying to invest some amount in India and they are trying to find some Indian partners. Then you get all the lottery tickets via WhatsApp, text messages, and emails. So, this is where, in fact, most talented people, most educated people are being conned just due to the lack of simple thing, which is a critical thinking. So, critical thinking is something which is analysis of a data which is available in front of you in a rational way. That's it. So, how critical thinking helps, how you can be better at critical thinking, and how we can make most of it by using it in our daily lives. So, let us start with that. So, before we start, if you have any questions, do write down, or you can directly send a message to Zaina or to us, and we'll try to accommodate that question in the best possible way we can. So, the concept of critical thinking. Now, what are the critical thinking skills? The first thing is we always need to have an open minded approach. Now, how many of you have watched Pushpa? I'm sure many people must have watched Pushpa. You know that one movie is these days is creating uh, creating all the buzz around the world. You see the videos of cricketers acting on Pushpa, the actors acting on Pushpa, the kids are acting on Pushpa. So there are lot many people who are appreciating Pushpa. So few points here you can exactly relate to Pushpa, what they have shown. It was a masterpiece of many management lessons. One of them was critical thinking. You might have remembered the scene where this policeman enters the jungle forest where they are cutting these trees, and most of the people start running away by keeping that sandalwood at the same place. And this Allu Arjun comes and tells them something, and by the time this police uh, reaches the spot, they find nothing except one piece, and he somehow manages to hide that piece also. So he just had this particularly open-minded approach. He was not fearful of the situation. He just made sure that not a single piece of this sandalwood is getting caught in the hands of police. So we must need to have open-minded approach whenever we are encountered with some kind of problems or some kind of challenge or some kind of daily routine things. We must need to have an open-minded approach. Now, most of us live in a joint family. We live with our parents, we live with our siblings, we have cousins. So many people have many different opinions about one single thing, and all these uh, their perspectives are different based on their past experiences. As I always say, whatever I am here, I am today just because of my past experiences, and I'll do everything that my past experiences has taught me. So it has nothing to do with other person. But having an open mind, listening to the person and understanding their point of view can help us getting a good skill, that is open minded approach. Number 2 is analytical mindset. If you open your Google and just type any word. It will say some millions of results has been shown in zero point 0.1 second, zero point 0.2 seconds, 0.25 seconds. Now, what is the authenticity of that particular data that you are getting on your screen? There are hundreds of thousand books, hundred and thousand lectures available on YouTube. There are hundreds of thousand articles published on web. There are similar amount of posts you get daily on Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, and where not. So how do you analyze what exactly is the correct data? How do you filter that data? Is important. Now, how do you do that? Is the simple thing. If you want to filter out the data, because data is the king these days. Every big company is working on data because they know they can do wonders with data. If you watch Shark Tank, they always ask their the people who came up with the idea, what is the size of market you are looking at, how many contacts you develop, how many followers you have. What this means is they are analytically approaching the product, just trying to understand how we can leverage this context or this data, whatever is available with these guys, to make more money. So analytical mindset is important. At the same time, understanding the correct information or the valid information, and how do I validate that? So the two things what we can do is we can check the authenticity of the data. If the particular data is not having any authentic source of information, if you take the for example, if you want to check the literacy rate of India or any particular state, now you get data at various places at various websites. Most likely you are going to get the correct data on a government website, which is education ministry's website. So you can get that correct data on that particular website, and you can think of relying on that. That data may be outdated, that data may be skewed a bit, but it is still a source of government, and this is written on their website. So there is a chance that this data is a factual data, not something which is coming up on WhatsApp and Facebook. The moment something happens, uh, take the case of COVID. From the day one, we had so many updates about COVID that even doctor didn't have. Everybody was claiming that they have found out the medicine for COVID. Until and unless WHO had to come and intervene that don't rely on WhatsApp or Facebook data. COVID is a dangerous thing, dangerous virus. Coronavirus is a dangerous virus. Still, people are believing on the WhatsApp forwards. WhatsApp has, made sure that you must understand this is being forwarded many times, 100 times, 1,000 times. They don't allow more than 5 forwards at the same time. But still, people are believing on that. And this is where your analytical mindset is used. And authentication of that data is very much important if you want to develop critical thinking skill. Clear till this point? The next is interpretation. Now I got a data, I got a situation. This is my favorite situation, what I always sell. Or maybe I was asked this question when I was doing my first job. There is a policeman who is leaving from his duty, and all of a sudden he enters a narrow lane and he hears a voice. "Hey John, don't kill me." The moment he hears that, he runs upstairs and see that one person is dead. Now what happens next is miracle. Without uttering a single word, he captures John and takes him to the prison. John agrees or confronts that yes, he has murdered that guy or he has shot the guy. There were four people in the room. One was lawyer, another was a policeman, third was some navy officer, and fourth was a doctor. Now, how does this another policeman man knows that he's the John and he has killed it? Now, this all based on the interpretations of whatever he has seen. If I am a policeman, will I be able to know exactly this is the name of the person? Is it possible? I know you guys are interpreting a lot. I'm not going to get this result because this is really a very simple answer. But the way I portray this question is making you think in a different way. And when you look at the reality, it is very simple. And the answer to this question is when this policeman enters the room, he sees that there is only one male available in the room. This is how we complicate things, right? And this is how we make life difficult for us. Next one is effective communication. Now, what does an effective communication does? I think I could portray this question in front of you in a little effective way. Now, what happens in any kind of communication is there are three parts. One is a sender, then there is something happens, some processes happens that is being said, and third is the receiver. This is like Airtel is sending you a signal through a tower and you are receiving signals on your mobile phone. Correct. So if Airtel is not sending the right signals, how powerful is the mobile tower doesn't make a difference. How powerful is your phone, how strong, how costly, how latest technology your phone is having, that doesn't make any difference until and unless Airtel sends a strong signal. Now, what happens here when I am communicating with you, you have got certain skills, certain level of understanding, which may be more than me, which might be lesser than me, or which is as good as my interpretation skills. If I'm not able to convey my message to you, then it is my fault, not yours. Because I could not frame the sentence in effective way that you could understand what I exactly wanted to say. Then only you are going to receive the correct message. You are going to understand the gist of the story. You are going to understand why I did particular thing. And when we do that, then only this effective communication happens. This is just one example. Otherwise, effective communication is such a huge topic. We can talk about this for hours together, and still we might come up with something new. So, effective communication, interpretation of the things, analyzing the data, or having an analytical mindset with available resources and data, and open minded approach. When we master all these things slowly, gradually, then the last part of self improvement comes. And this is when we can call ourselves as, yes, I have acquired little critical thinking skill. And when you look at this, you will, shock yourself. You will just become fan of your own self, that yes, you can think differently, but people are not thinking, you are able to think. So this is how critical thinking works. Next is, now how can I improve on that, the main question. So first of all, if some event has happened, what I need to do is, I just have to pinpoint the issue. What exactly has happened? Rather than interpreting on my own self, I need to understand what exactly has happened at this particular moment of time. So pinpointing the issue is important. Go find out what exactly happened. If I say this car has gone and hit a truck, now the issue is there is an accident. What most of us do is we try to find out who is at fault. Rather than going there in the beginning itself, just try to see what exactly is the issue, and then only we can come to the solution. Second is collect information. Now there is a car accident. The car and truck is involved in the accident. Now what happened? How it happened? Collect the information from the sources, from the resources. Maybe there are people who are watching there. Maybe there is a camera. There are two versions of a drivers, both the drivers, or there may be literally some mechanical failure has happened with one of the vehicles. There could be anything. Once you collect the information, now examine that information and scrutinize on that. Was the information shared correct? Is this particular information is valid for me to decide the end point of it? Then go on and decide the relevance of whatever scrutiny you have done, or whatever examinations you have done. Ask yourself whether your evaluation is correct of the situation. Once you are done with above 4 points or 5 points, then draw a conclusion for your own self. Once you have got some conclusion about some particular event, then try to explain your conclusion to somebody else so that you both are on the same page. So, explaining the conclusion is the most important part, because most of us filter out many things as per our understanding, and we keep the facts literally away when trying to explain the things. So just try to understand you have completed all these points, and start with small events. There may be, you know, any small event that is happening around you. You're doing something, you just analyze the situation differently. It's like, going to a gym. Now, going to gym, if I take this particular point critically, there are two major factors involved. One is money and another is time. Now, the first point is whether am I interested in spending that money, and do I really have got that time to spend in the gym? Then comes your punctuation, then comes your self control, then comes the hard work, the benefits that you are going to get maybe after 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months. If you choose to join a gym, just try to evaluate all our decisions, whatever you're doing, just try to evaluate in a different way. Then only we can improve on critical thinking. Clear till here? You can ask questions whenever you want. All right, moving ahead. Next is the main and one of the most important things in life is making a decision. Now, decision making is such a skill which is involved in day to day life. Now, what are the things that we take decision on? Right from what to eat for a breakfast, whether to wake up at 6 o'clock or 6:15 or 7 or 9, to choosing your college, choosing your job, choosing your partner, or making an investment, starting a business, anything, everything is dependent upon a good decision. There is a saying of Ratan Tata: I first take the decisions and then make them correct. Which Ratan Tata says that he has not said it. Okay. So now how we reach to so-called perfect decision? First, we need to plan out the things. I must need to have a concrete plan of what I'm supposed to do. Am I going to do this? Am I going to do that? So need to have a clear cut plan about whatever I am thinking in whatever direction it is. Second is being assertive. Being assertive to yourself first. First, we need to convince ourselves to do something. It's like the moments ago we spoke about joining yoga or joining a gym. Now, be assertive. What are the benefits of joining a gym or starting yoga or doing meditations or starting studies, applying for new jobs? So, what are the end results I'm going to get? My plan is set. I have convinced myself. And still, there is a lot of confusion in our own minds. Go and ask some expert. I'm thinking on these lines. This is my plan. This is what I have told myself. This is my story, my version of story. Now, since you're a third person, I thought you are a right choice to take a guidance for. And if you can help me out with this, I am sure you will get some input which is totally different from what you have thought till this particular time. Go back, keep their advices in mind, go back and just see how these advices are going to help you making a better plan. Number one, telling you a new story, that again being assertive with yourself. While doing all this thing, set a deadline to yourself. Give yourself some particular fixed amount of time that I am going to do this in next 2 days, 3 days, 1 week, 72 hours, 24 hours. Until and unless we set the timeline, it is never possible to reach to a completely fine or correct decision. When you are pondering on too many things, what happens is that we started making too many choices. So, our first duty is to make sure that you have got very limited choices, minimum one, maximum three. What if, what if, what if? That's it. What if I fail? This is what we generally think. Ask yourself, what if I pass? Or what if I succeed? We have never thought of what if I succeed. We always think of what if I fail, what if I fail, how this is going to ruin my life, how this is going to ruin my career. But what if I succeed at first, how this is going to help me fulfill my dreams. So whichever what if is following your definition of success, choose that. Having mostly three choices will help you taking that, limiting those choices. That is number one, and taking that decision much faster. If you can, if you are able to see the results, if you are able to see the future, what if you succeed and you get love of your life, home of your dreams, job which you always wanted to do, roam around the countries or spend a vacation in Switzerland or Venice or any other place of your own choice. Once you are convinced with what if limited choices, you have taken one decision that okay, this is my final choice. I am freezing on this right now. Play KBC with yourself, lock the choice, take a break for a moment. Just take a break, think about it, and once you are convinced, once again you are convincing yourself after taking a break, because once we take a break, our mind will start going back to the original idea. No, this idea was better. So taking a break will make sure that your choice is firm. You are not going to leave that choice alone. Then start experimenting on your decision. This is the most important thing. We take decisions, but we don't take actions. Try experimenting in different situations, different scenarios with different people or different set of environments. If you are successful, you know that your decision was correct. If not, you had other two choices to go back and again experiment and improve yourself. So, this is how we can reach a good decision. A decision should definitely affect more than one person in a good way if it is a personal decision. And if a decision is about society or a nation or some community, then this decision should be focused towards betterment of the society, betterment of the community, betterment of the family, or betterment of the social circle you are experimenting this decision on. So how this is how we can make good choices and make this place better place for your own self first. That's it from my side. Thank you so much for your patience hearing. Over to you, Zaina.
What a wonderful session, Sunil sir. Listening to you, I could actually ponder upon the decision making procedure that usually I go through. And I'm sure that's the same thing with the people who are listening to us today. So, if you may, I have a question when it comes to critical thinking. So, a lot of us tend to, overthink a lot about things. So, critical thinking procedures, overthinking is kind of like a hindrance. But so, how should we try to control that urge, natural urge, as we as human beings have to overthink, and focus on having a more critical point of view to the situation? Is there a way we can do that?
Thank you, Zaina. Thank you for such a wonderful question. This is a real challenge. Okay. So few days back, I was watching a Marathi movie called Kasav. Kasav means tortoise. Okay. So this movie was based on the theory of tortoise, where the actress of the movie, which is she is in a lead role. So she goes from depression. She visits a psychiatrist, and this doctor tells her, now I know you are thinking something, right? And when we start overthinking, we think that this is the only correct thing. Okay, may it be in any perspective. So, what the doctors tell this lady is, now ask yourself one question: is this just a thought or is this a reality? That is number one. Number two, if this is a reality, is it the only reality or it is the only truth available on the planet? If you keep asking these two questions to yourself, you will definitely stop overthinking and start taking some different actions.
Right. So I think we all need to. It's a very simple question, but it means something that is beyond what we usually realize. So again, thank you so much for answering my question, and thank you so much for all the ways, simplifying or breaking down the points into a very simpler, quicker actions that we all can do on a daily basis. We can try to think that way, or whenever we are taking some decisions, we can actually use your method of using the simpler approaches, I should say, and rather asking the right questions that we need to. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Sunil Shanewar. Thank you so much for being with us here today, sir. It was a delight to have you.
Thank you, Zena. Thank you. Same as usual.
All right. See you on the other side someday, sometime else with a new session. So that was Sunil Shanewar, and we had a wonderful, wonderful session. But don't feel sad because the session ended. I really hope that there were some more points that we could have discussed, but due to time constraint, I think Sunil sir did a great job of compiling all those varieties of things that we needed to discuss into just a session that's like 40 minutes long. So thank you so much for that. At Speaker Circle, we keep on having these kind of knowledge sharing sessions where members are given a chance, or given a stage, I should say rather, to share something about their areas of expertise, something that they have thought through, and certain new ideas or certain new concepts. So this was one of those sessions, and we have different speakers coming up here and talking about various things. There was one member who talked about business etiquette, as in what is the correct form of etiquette that you should have in formal setups. So we discuss various things, we share our knowledge with each other. Yes, I agree. The session was well elaborated, well researched, and the ideas were well structured. So, we keep on sharing our knowledge on this platform. You can go and have a look at this YouTube channel. There are several videos about people sharing their ideas. If you want to join our online meets and share your ideas as well, or if you want to become a registered member with us, simply go to the Google form that we have shared in the description, and we'll add you to our WhatsApp groups. We will brief you about what is the usual procedure, and you can surely participate and contribute as per your convenience and as per your knowledge. So again, this thank you so much for joining us on this wonderful Thursday evening. Looking forward to having more interactions with you people on this channel. We are going to go live again on next Thursday. So see you there. Till then, have a nice time. Have a nice evening.